Hello, making a video with my baby dog and Paul, but he doesn't want to be shown. But the baby dog doesn't mind being shown. He took a shower and he is feeling really relaxed and really good right now, and it is wonderful today. It is warm today. It is a wonderful, productive day today. And the baby dog is feeling really good because it's so warm and we don't need the heater on. So that's perfect. And the sun is out, shining into all the rhododendron and the other plants, and it looks really, really nice. That looks awesome. So, yes, and I am sitting here in shorts and tank top. I made that myself. I love it. I made it out of a pillowcase. Yeah, this is so much fun, making tank tops out of pillowcases. You should try that. And then we do our arm jiggle contest. My haters and I. Yeah, we can all do an arm jiggle contest, and then we will see who won. But let me guess. I'm the only one participating in that arm jiggle contest, because the other ones, they already know that they're going to be the winner in arm fat jiggle contest winning. So but they don't show themselves, so that's why they think they can make fun of me. Because I am showing myself and they don't show themselves. That's very easy for a 500-pound man to you fat. Okay, I'm 230 and you're 500, so okay, just wanted to do some fact check. Yeah, okay. So, well, there's a reason why Philip Jones never showed himself to me. There is a reason for it. Every time there was a different excuse. Okay, every single time. So, at some point I'm like, okay, so no showing, no dating. That's as simple as that, right? I mean, I need to have a boyfriend who actually shows himself to me with all the arm jiggle and everything. Now, then we'll be talking dating. I mean, like, even with all that fat, and I mean, if you have a good sense of humor, if you show yourself to me with all your fat masses and all of that, and you can laugh about this, and you can laugh about yourself, and you can not take yourself so seriously, and if you show your house, all the chaos around you in your house, the soda cans on the floor, and I mean, I don't even want to talk about what else I suspect. Yeah. So, well, naturally, you're not gonna parade yourself to me in the video chat and show your house around and all of that, so so yeah, that's why I keep my house clean. I keep everything super, super organized. I couldn't even, there's no way I could even manage my life at all if I did not organize my house and my stuff and my things and so on. So I have to have everything like top notch in order to feel good and to find things and to manage my household and deal with stuff properly, not overspend money. There are people that have their cabinets full. Oprah Winfrey showed that one time. And she had someone on the show who was talking about this stuff, and they went into her house and they saw that she had the cabinets full of stuff, and then there were like backup stuff in there, and she didn't even know it, and because she couldn't find it, she just bought more. So just know what you have, look into your cabinets. Oh, there's another laundry detergent in there. So I'm so glad that I found that. That saved me money for this month. Now I can buy myself oatmeal instead, which I needed more during this month, right? I mean, just to use an example. I don't want to say Toblerone because I quit eating cocoa products, so I decided to quit. I had the feeling it wasn't good for me. I had the feeling there's lead in it, okay, and I think there is lead in it. For some reason, the cocoa plants, they soak up toxins and pollutants in the groundwater and in the ground. And then it accumulates in the seed. So the seed of cocoa is already toxic by itself. I mean, you don't even need to add anything else from pollution from humans and from petrochemical labs and industries and so on, pesticide pollution. There are plants that soak all of that up. I mean, most plants would, if they're exposed to this, the stuff will get into the plant to some degree. Some plants more than others, like horsetail, for example, which is a very ancient plant. So ancient that they grew before the Jurassic. They didn't even know about pesticides and pollutants, that this would someday hit the earth, through the human. So they weren't really prepared for any pollutants. So horsetail and those kind of things, they're very, very ancient, like sugarcane, those real ancient, straight, straw type of plants that grow up straight, or bamboo, for example, that's another one, or the Argentinian pampas grass that comes in different colors. We have the pink one at the other house. We also have that here at the very edge of the fence there, but I can't reach it here. So I have to grab one from the other garden, from the other house, the California house, and I have to cut that with my pruner, and I have to put it in the van, and I have to bring it to this house because I have to do some spider web sweeping. So this has to be done. And then the good thing about that is it doesn't matter if it completely sticks to those feather plants, feather seeds, really. And if it clogs it all up and if it cakes it all up, it doesn't matter. You can cut it up and put it in the compost, or you can mulch it. That's like one-time use, for that. Those are one-time use dusters that are growing out there, and I think they are amazing, and they really help you in your household. They are amazing, amazing plants. All of those plants, they soak up a lot of water, and they soak up all kinds of stuff that's in the ground. If there are minerals in the ground and nutrients, then it will soak that up, and then you can eat it, and it will be really good for you. So, but if they are surrounded by toxins or pollution, or even septic tanks, or people spraying pesticides, then they will soak that up as well. And then they are not healthy for people or animals to consume. So you can only use it as a duster for your house. So I have tasted the Argentinian pampas grass at the other house. I have cut that up into little stumps, and I've peeled the outer layers of there. They consist of many layers. And on the very inside, there is a pulp, and that pulp is very sweet. So these things, all of those things, I think they are very high in sugar, and it's a whole sugar, of course. So that's why sugar cane is used to make sugar with it. But I don't recommend to refine it. I recommend to people to use the dried sugarcane juice as whole sugar from the sugarcane, or any kind of plant that is made into sugar. You juice it, you let the juice air dry, and then you have something like candies or brown sugar, or I think brown sugar is where they actually extract. That's still a side product of the sugar refinery. So where they take the white sugar out, and then they leave the rest in the substance, and that is browner, and it has higher condensation of nutrients, but only because they have extracted the white sugar out, the sugar molecules, which is wrong. They should never do this. You should never chemically separate a substance. You should always take the substance that is given to us from Mother Earth in mineral form or plant form, and you can blend it, you can process it, you can pulverize it. Don't nanonize it, and never, ever, ever separate, never isolate any component out of anything. This is a golden rule from Rudolf Steiner and myself. Okay, so this is not just a golden rule. This is a golden rule of Rudolf Steiner, and he highly recommended to people to not isolate any components chemically. For me, it's not just a golden rule. For me, it is a mandate. Okay, this is my mandate to the world. This is not just a recommendation. This is a command. Okay, because I am the speaker for this planet and beyond. I want to make the world a better place. Earlier I got frustrated with Paul because he's often in resistance towards my recommendations, and then I get into a rant in front of my computer because I know my computer is the only one who listens to me. And I said that I need to be the dictator of this world of humans. Okay, I need to be the dictator here. If there were no other humans except me, then I wouldn't need to be a dictator. Because then what's the point, right? The animals, they already have an instinct, a natural instinct to do things holistically. So they don't pollute anything. They don't have egos. And so I wouldn't have to be a dictator. But as long as there are other humans on this planet, then it would be good if I was the dictator, because then I would fix things the right way. Okay, I would fix everything. I know I can do it. I know I can do it. And we can certainly all do this together, If someone has, for example, an organization to make things better, and they have it democratic, guess what happens? It happened to Paul Watson 2 times in a row, My God. He finally has his own organization now, because, the other organizations, they get infiltrators. All kinds of organizations that get infiltrators, because the Good Samaritan keeps it democratic, because we want to have it democratic. We want to be good. We want everyone to have a say, right? We have everyone to have equal say. It doesn't work. Sorry, it doesn't. Okay, we've been through this now so many times. So if I was almost gonna create an animal rights organization on the California side, where we have the other house. That was a long time ago, when we still had Kenny, our Great Dane, because the coalition group that we went to, that was created by different people together, and they just, the way they forced themselves into it. First of all, they didn't adhere to their own democratic policies, right? They forced themselves into it, and then they didn't allow the other people to have any say. So then it's not democratic. It wasn't democratic. But that's what happens when you have something democratic. Then some asshole comes in and takes over and will sell their dictatorship as democracy, as, we all agree? But then they do use intimidation tactics, and then they use peer pressure, and then they kind of coerce the other people, and then nobody dares to say anything. I finally walked out. I said, forget it. There's nothing good, nothing productive that will come out of it. So then I wanted to create my own group, but then nobody wanted to help me with it. Paul was the only one. Nobody else wanted to help me with it. So, and then if you don't have anyone to help you, how can you do it? How can you become a dictator if nobody agrees to have you as the dictator, right? Then it won't work. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, if I was the dictator, I would make things good, in a local setting as well as in a global setting. And I know I could do it. And I would hear people. I would hear everyone's view and opinion. But I'm not going to let these other people take over. I'm not going to let someone like Peter Camaro, or Cameo, I think it was his name, Peter Cameo, from the Green Party, but I have to put that in quotation marks. Peter Cameo in LA, from the Green Party. Total vested interest, conflict of interest. Okay, he was a developer in the Green Party, baby, and nobody ever went like, wait a minute here. Peter Cameo, he is a developer. Why is he boxing his elbows into the Green Party, in the local Green Party out there in LA. And then he said, listen twice as much as you talk. But he doesn't say that because he wants to listen twice as much as he talks. He says that because that's a strategy, okay? Because with that strategy, he can first of all find out and really get a full picture on what everyone thinks and feels, okay? But not in order to help anyone, not in order to get someone else to cry on his shoulder. No, he only makes them think that. We want to save the wetlands. Oh, let me listen to you. You poor, nice, good Samaritans, I want to listen to you. And then he goes home and then he rubs his hands together and he goes, now I'm going to love myself all the way to the bank because they trust me now. They feed out of my hands, right? Those environmentalists, those ecologists out there. Ha 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 ha, I know how to trick them. So I have all their information now. They don't have my information. So then he gets into the Green Party, more and more and more, and he flips the Green Party upside down. And that's what happens when you have democracy, when all the liberal pushovers allow Peter Camaro, whatever his name is, to Camaro Stingray, right? That's his real name. But they don't know that. They don't know he's using rolling coals in his Stingray. I'm just making this up now. But I'm sure he drives some gas or diesel SUV and he doesn't care at all what it does to the environment. And he doesn't care about the wetlands. So he wants to develop. He wants to build high-rise buildings there and condos and all of that. So he pushed all of the pushovers over and then he got his way. So that's not how we get anything done. So we can only get something done if we have a dictatorship. Okay, that's the only way. And we can only get it done if the dictator is someone like Elon Musk or myself or Donald Trump or Paul even. I say even because I don't agree with him on everything, but Paul would at least let me have a lot to say, and I would let him talk to me, so it would be two dictators working together. And it's not easy at all, so that's why it's even difficult to run a household with two people that have different views on certain things. So then becomes a problem, fights break out and lots of argumentation. But I know that at the end of the day, Paul is always going to be on my side. He's always wanting the best for baby dog and me and him, okay, and our household, obviously, and all of our beings, our plants, and the rats, and he catches rats in live traps. So I'm saying that, I mean literally, He means well for the rats too. So he doesn't want rats in the walls, but because they chew through electric lines and all of that. And I hear them chew a lot in both houses. So they're in these walls, they're in the other house walls. and sometimes they keep me awake at the other house, because the other house was built in 1930, so that's like an antique house now. And there are rat lineages that have lived in the walls ever since 1930. And they sometimes get very busy with the stuff, particularly in the attic. So I don't know what kind of metal bars or metal sticks that are up there in the attic, but sometimes the rats play around with that and chew on those, and then they move them around, and there's a lot of clapping of metal bars and sticks and metal stakes, something. I don't know what they use that for. But bunch of that in the attic from the people that lived there before us, and so then it gets loud at night. I actually have to use earplugs. But yeah, literally, we want to do the best for them too. So, and I always say, kiddos, come on, mama wants to sleep. Yeah. Sometimes they listen and then they let off, but not always. So no, Paul takes that very seriously, to take care of all living beings in our home and garden. So he bought live traps, and he has different size live traps. Have a hard live trap, I recommend those. I would make a commercial for them if my videos were monetized, but they're not, because I say the truth. So when you say the truth, you can't get monetized. So you have to make a decision. Do I want to say the truth, or do I want to get monetized, right? No, I choose the truth. Always, over anything, over any kind of selfish thing. Okay, so money or whatever, or clicks or views or subscribers or whatever. No. I put truth over all of this selfish stuff. And if everyone did that, we wouldn't have a corrupt world. Everything would be good. But obviously, I can't expect that, right? I can't. So no, but Paul gets the live traps. He catches mouses and rats, and even one of those large kangaroo rats got in the real big one time, and that one looked pregnant. I felt terribly sorry for her. She was terrified in that cage, and he brought that kangaroo rat like a couple of miles away from our house, because he didn't want the kangaroo rat to come in and make a nest in his... He had a box with bicycle paraphernalia, like inner tubes and stuff like that, and that kangaroo rat came in there and collected hazelnuts in there and all kinds of things. So that it was a big mess, and also made a nest, to give birth in all of that rubble. So yeah, that's what he did. He was nice. He brought the kangaroo rat several miles away, where there is a stream, okay, where she can make a nest and have her babies. And he does the same with the regular rats. That they are very dark brown. They're like anthracite color, like a very, very dark gray. And they are gorgeous. They're very large rats. And every time a rat is caught in the live trap, he will take the live trap and bring that cage several miles away from our house, and then let the rat out there. And the rats usually they get out, and then they turn around and look at him like they thank him. And sometimes you can tell when they have big balls, they are boys. And when the boy rat, he looks around and he is confused that Paul is a good Samaritan, but he's very grateful for Paul. Okay, so yeah, that's what he does. He takes that cage several miles away from our homes to a stream, and then he lets the animal out there, and then the animal is free and safe and happy and healthy, and that's what's important. I hate to cause them distress with the cage, so I personally, if I lived here alone, I would not even trap them in a cage. I would just live with all of these animals, you know. I even take a spider gently outside and let the spider out. I don't kill any animal. Okay, so I'm very careful not to step on any bug. Sometimes it becomes a little bit obsessive outside. You know, I have to look 10,000 times to make sure that I am not stepping on a bug or a slug. So when I see a slug, I immediately lift that slug up and bring the slug to a safer place. That's what I have to do, you know. So when I see a beetle and the beetle is in an unsafe place where we walk, I lift that beetle up and put that beetle into a tree or hedge. Or sometimes I see a caterpillar on the ground, and when a caterpillar ends up on the ground, then the ants go after that. And sometimes I see a caterpillar turning over and coiling around in pain because the ants are going after that caterpillar. And sometimes I see caterpillars, yellow caterpillars, or really, really bright green ones that are coiling, and I immediately come to the rescue. I take the caterpillar in my hand and I take the garden hose, I wash all the ants off, and then I put the caterpillar into a safe place under some tree or in some moss or into a hedge, so where the caterpillar can be safe. And some other people, they would say, oh, that's a pest animal, or that caterpillar is going to eat my vegetables. Or I don't think that way at all, you know. So let the caterpillar eat some holes into your veggies or apple tree leaves or whatever, you know. I mean, if there is an invasion of one particular species of caterpillar or moth or whatever, or butterfly or beetle, then if there's an invasion, then you know there is an imbalance in the ecosystem. If you see that, okay, then you have to do something about it. You have to change your approach, as Tony Robbins always says. You know, if something isn't going the right way, then obviously we have to do something about it. And the human species has created a lot of imbalance in the ecosystems. So before humans became corporate, you know, long time ago, you know, when they were still hunters and gatherers. So at that time, they were not polluting the earth and things were in balance, okay? But then as soon as they started to settle and do monoculture and agriculture, on their settlements, then that's when things started to get imbalanced. So it's not good. So that's why we need to think about it. Oh, so this doesn't work. So we need to change our approach, obviously. Okay, so how do we change the approach? What do? We have to meditate on it. We have to brainstorm on it. We have to think about it in depth, So we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it with other people. We have to, and not decide things democratically. Someone has to be in charge, but it has to be someone who means well, obviously. Not a mafia boss. No, that's clear. Okay. So, but everyone should give their opinion, and people should discuss it, and sometimes you can convince someone, you can convince a political leader, and I have helped. We have done this together, okay? We have gotten good political leaders to change certain policies in their legal system because of the input of other kind-hearted people that helped him, with this, with the advice. And we have helped Vladimir Putin, okay, he's a good person. He listened to our advice. He outlawed the bear hunt in Russia and Siberia. He has a beluga whale rescue organization that he is running himself. Okay, it's on his website. Okay, people can look it up, So he's a very kind-hearted man, and that's also why he's still there, because the Russians are smart people. Okay, when they see someone who is highly competent, they keep that person in there. Okay, they want that person to stay. So, but here in the United States, people are not very intelligent. So they're not as intelligent as in Russia. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Okay, so this is, if people cower down to peer pressure and corporate brainwashing and all of that, and tons of religions, that's not smart, okay? Giving into something like the mafia, the corporate agenda, Islam, Sharia law, it's not very smart, okay? To give into peer pressure and ridicule and let some Hollywood propagandists brainwash you into thinking you need to vote Democrat when the Democratic Party is done, finished, okay? The Democratic Party is dead, okay? That's not democratic, it's mafia, but it's a mafia party, no, okay? People need to know this, okay? And if people still believe in that, they're not very smart. Okay, if people vote someone out, if people boo someone out, if people kick someone out of office who has done exceptionally well, as Donald Trump has, and then they vote someone in who is completely corrupting the United States, then that's not very smart, obviously. To vote for Biden is not smart. That's pretty retarded, okay? To go against Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all the good people, Tucker Carlson, and everyone, Ingrid Newkirk, everyone who going against good people is not very smart, okay? If you see someone who is doing exceptionally well, like Donald Trump, you want that person to stay in office forever, for as long as that person wants to stay in office, okay? And the only reason why he even ran for president in the first place was to help to fix this country. That's his country. he cares about this country. He doesn't want to have to move away to 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 another country, and even in other countries, it's not very good either. So he's here. He wants to fix it. Okay, and he has. He has fixed so much. As soon as Biden got in, Biden tore it all down again. Okay. Barack Obama and George W. Bush have chipped away at the U.S. Constitution. Okay. Donald Trump fixed everything he could fix. He brought things back into balance. And I'm sure he fixed the constitutional holes that Obama and Bush has torn into the Constitution that had the original constitutional establishment, the constitutional rights, our human rights, and all of that, civil rights. These civil rights originally they had their common sense, but today common sense is not common anymore, right? So if you vote for people that tear holes into something that is common sense and something that is reasonable, then in something that works, then that's not very smart, obviously. So Donald Trump fixed a whole lot of stuff in 4 years. The list of accomplishments that he has achieved during his 4 years is humongous, including an animal rights bill that is huge, that nobody before him signed. No, not even any liberal president before him signed this. Okay, so that's why I'm done with parties. I am done with any kind of affiliation. I'm done when people say they're liberal. Means nothing to me. They need to show it. They need to show that they care about the earth, okay? And that's supposed to be something that's on the list of liberals. Supposed to be, but not anymore, obviously. So it's a mafia party now. And these people, the kind-hearted people that are still latching onto the mafia party and latching onto wokeism and all of that, they're not very smart. I'm sorry. It's the truth what I'm saying here. It is the truth. So it is very, very, very smart of people when they vote for someone like Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Okay? That's very smart. Okay, because those people make the world better. So voting for them is smart. It's a smart move. Because that will affect your life, and that will affect the earth and all living beings, obviously. So, yeah, it's very, very important. Very important message that I'm giving you. Very important message. If I was the dictator, can you imagine what I can do? What I could do for the world? I could do wonders for the world. Absolutely. And that's the truth. But I'm a do-gooder. I'm a truther. A do-gooder, truther in a mafia world wouldn't stand a chance to get into any kind of leverage position or any kind of stringholder position or any kind of voice that would be given to me, No, they won't take my voice away from me completely if they could. So they would never monetize my channels. They would. That's a form of censorship also. Okay. So, and I've already been censored on YouTube for saying something that goes against the corporate agenda. Like, for example, I talked against the fur industry. I talked against the logging industry. And I got blocked, not just from the people themselves that made the videos, but from YouTube. I got put on hold. I got put in chat rooms. In many chat rooms, I get put on slow motion. That's censorship. Okay, if you block someone from talking, you're censoring that person. Okay, I'm not going to sit there for 5 minutes and wait until I can talk again. Obviously, I'm going to leave. So that's what they want. And if I'm not welcomed, I'm going. I mean, it's like, why waste my time struggling, right? But it's sad. It's sad for me to see that I am being censored. And I am being shunned. I'm being blocked. And I'm being muted and put on slow motion and so on. It's very sad. Demonetized, unmonetized. And not just that, I'm being shadow banned. That's a nice trick of the mafia. We are giving everyone the same right to talk. No, you don't. You have shadow banning programs in there that are working day and night. Okay, any person who talks against the fur industry, who talks against cutting trees down, who talks against the pesticide lobby, they get shadow banned. Okay, so, and just for your information, you need to know that this is not democratic, how this country is run. This is a mafia-run country. And they use different tricks, as long as they don't have total, like, frontal type of dictatorship, right? Right in your face dictatorship. As long as they don't have that, they use the backdoor dictatorship through shadow banning and heaven banning and so on. George Hotz is their favorite hacker. Okay, so people need to know this. And if we want to make the world a better place, you have to stand up for justice. And you have to stand up for the earth. You have to stand up for the earth being healthy. You have to stand up for all trees. You cannot cut trees down. Okay, you cannot let anyone cut trees. You cannot be in agreement with that. You cannot look the other way. Okay, if we want to make the world a better place, you have to take action. You have to have the strength, the mental strength to stand alone and stand up for justice and a healthy earth. And that's the truth. Okay, you have to do it. I do it. You can do it too. You can. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video. Sun is going down. Peace and love.